What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Big Niche clocking back in with y'all, and I am back with another banger. As you can see, this is the first official day. Today is October 1st. I told y'all 30 days. I'm locking in. I'm trying to do what I can as much as I can, as long as I can. Honestly, the goal is to literally create a steady routine to where I'm doing it consistently, like constantly, over and over, that goes for streaming, making content, vlogging, just the whole nine. I just want to be able to be very consistent with everything that I plan on doing. I wish y'all could see where I'm at right now. I'm at a park, and this is honestly one of the most packed parks I've ever been to, because even in my hometown, I've never seen a park this packed. From morning to night, this park stays packed, and it's a beautiful, beautiful park. As you can see, I got a whole fountain behind me, or whatever, a whole lake, beautiful lake. On that end, it's a fucking bridge right there, but the bridge has some way got damaged, so nobody's on the bridge. But today's video, I want to talk about, and this is gonna be no editing. This is not gonna be anything cropped out, nothing edited out. Y'all gonna get the real raw truth. This is the 30-day lock-in. You know what I'm saying? So whatever y'all see is what y'all see, and that's what y'all get. So today I want to talk to y'all about, just enjoying yourself. Just in expanding your mind, trying new things out, bro. Like, a lot of times we be so determined to try, to do what everybody else wants us to do, but we never try to do things that we want to do. And sometimes we don't even try to branch out and do shit that we never done before. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what you like until you try it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't know it until you try, pretty much. I know, like, for one, the craziest thing for me right now is doing this, me actually stepping out of my comfort zone, speaking in front of everybody, looking at a camera, bro. This is one of the most insane things, because I got kids watching me, I got people just walking by staring at me. But at the end of the day, the goal is at hand, which is to show y'all that I'm going to be able to do this. I told y'all that I have to start getting comfortable. I have to start getting, I have to start getting used to the camera. I have to start getting used to this lifestyle that I want to live, because in order for me to tap into that lifestyle and achieve that lifestyle, I have to live it first. And I can't be acting as if, I'm ready for this, because any moment I can go viral. You know what I'm saying? Any moment I can go viral. Any moment I can sit there and, literally just one video could take off, and that could be the moment to change my life. So I have to be prepared for that. And that's something that I want y'all to understand too. Like, make sure you're always in preparation for an upgrade. Like, how when you pay a phone bill, or when you pay something, and it's always like an upgraded service coming. You always want to make sure that you have your life upgraded, or prepare for the upgrade. Meaning, never sit in one spot, never be too comfortable in one spot. Never make yourself, be comfortable. Always be ready to do more, and always be ready to take off what you don't need to have on. Meaning, never put too much on you that you cannot handle, and also make sure you're always ready to handle the things that you want, and that you ask for, and that you can handle. Like, one of the things I'm working on is my wording, and how I deliver my messages and deliver my speeches and statements. Because for one simple reason, y'all, I know y'all notice I do have a very weird kind of speech problem. Sometimes I may stutter. Sometimes I may, just ramble. Or sometimes I may say one sentence, combine it with another sentence, and make no sense at all. Literally, it's happened several times before. So the main point of this is to just keep practicing and keep trying to keep expanding. My whole goal is to literally just do more, do more, be different, and be authentic. You don't ever want to just copy someone's flow. You just want to be able to, you want to be flow steady. Like, you just want to go with the flow. You want to be able to be yourself and create your own flow, create your own wave. You know what I'm saying? So that was another example. I literally would put one statement together, one statement right here, and put the other statement right here, and put it and mash it together to try to make it make sense. Y'all, I have a very bad problem with that. But like I said, y'all are going to see that with time goes on, as I isolate and stay focused on the goal at hand, that I will eventually become a better speaker, a better version of myself. I'll be able to talk to the camera more. Eventually, y'all, I plan on branching out and actually going to talk to people on camera. But that is the stepping, it's one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start somewhere. And as long as you starting somewhere, what can go wrong? What can you honestly say you failed at because you tried? You know what I'm saying? You tried. Failing is when you don't try at all. When you literally have given up, and when not even giving up, because in order to give up, you would have to try. Failing is completely like just not even want to do anything. Just accepting yourself as a failure. That's what a failure is. But when you fail, when you are defeated in something, it is not for you to feel like all hope is gone. It is not for you to feel like you can no longer try that again. It is not for you to feel like it's not going to work out. It is for you to take the lesson. It is for you to take the lesson, and to figure out what is the reason why. You know what I'm saying? What caused you to fail? What caused it to not work out? What caused you to, have this issue that went on? What happened? And, as long as you ask yourself those type of questions each time, each lesson, the lessons get easier and they get easier to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I will say is, when you are trying to accomplish a goal, the hardest thing about trying to accomplish a goal is the fact that it's going to be things that's going to stop you from accomplishing that goal. And sometimes it can be things that you are literally having the hardest time disconnected from, because detachment is one of the most powerful moves detachment is one of the most powerful things that you can obtain in your spirit. When you learn the art of detachment, you literally can detach from anything. And that is something that I'm currently trying to practice and learning, that everything is not meant to stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn that. And it's everything is here to teach you. We are here to be taught. We are here to learn. We are here to grow. We are here to gain knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So when things just don't make sense to me, and when, certain things happen and certain things come out my life, or certain things are trying to, stop being in my life, yes, the art of detachment is most definitely a struggle, because sometimes those things you don't want out of your life. Sometimes you don't want to stop smoking. Sometimes you don't want to stop drinking. Sometimes you don't want to stop partying. Sometimes you don't want to stop talking to that person. Sometimes you don't want to stop being that friend. Sometimes you don't want to stop associating yourself with that family member. But you have to learn the art of detachment. Is one of the most strongest and powerful things that you can honestly obtain as a spiritual person, as a human being. The art of detachment is literally one of the most powerful, skills. It's powerful, bro. Like, when you can literally just detach yourself from anything. Sometimes people think that it's toxic when people, are easily detachable, but that's not because they're numb or they're assholes or whatever. It's just the fact that they've learned to detach themselves. They learned to understand that not everything is meant to stay forever. And that's what I'm trying to go through right now, y'all. Like I said, I'm not perfect, far from it, you know what I'm saying? So the only thing I can be right now is myself. You feel me? Only thing I can be right now is myself, bro. As y'all can see, I had to let them birds pass by. I wasn't finna fuck around with no birds, man. I just don't fuck around with birds, man. I don't. But yeah, y'all, like, as you can see, life itself, it's just meant to be enjoyed, bro. It's meant to be loved. It's meant to be spent with your loved ones. I don't even know if y'all can see me. Hold on. I want to make sure y'all can see me. Alright, now we can walk back. But yeah, as long as you know that, you know, you're doing what you can, you're doing what you have to do, meaning doing what makes you happy. In life, a lot of times we do not put ourselves first. We do not put ourselves first. We go above and beyond to help out everybody else. But then when it comes to us, we are fucking clueless on how to help ourselves. And I am speaking to myself when I say that, because I literally go out my way and do whatever I can for somebody, bro. And the minute that it comes to me, the minute that it's time for me to do stuff for me, I'm lost. It's like, I don't know how to do it. It's like, I don't know how to be a human when it comes to shit like that, because I'm so used to like focusing my attention on everybody else that it's hard for me to even stay focused on myself sometimes. So then I get put in situations where, like, you know, I'm steady being tested, I'm steady being tried, I'm steady being told that, you know, people in my life keep telling me they're gonna stay, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. But what is that doing when they lie? You know, when they lie to you, when people tell you shit that they're gonna do, when they're gonna be here for you, and you know they're never gonna leave your side, and shit like that ends up happening. That shit is most definitely painful. It is painful. You know, it most definitely hurts, because as someone who takes your word seriously, when someone tells you that shit and they do not stick to their word, that is one of the most painful, deceiving and betraying things you can do as a human being. You know what I'm saying? So always know that when you give somebody your word is bond. You know, you want to make sure you can take it to the bank and cash it in, that your word is that damn good. You know what I'm saying? So I said all that to say, just make sure that you have a purpose in life. Make sure whatever you're doing in life, it has a purpose behind it. We don't ever want to live our lives just to live it without having a reason to live it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what makes people feel like there's no reason to live, is when they don't figure out why they're living. And there's nothing wrong with asking that. There's nothing wrong with asking, why am I here? There's nothing wrong with figuring out why are you here, because you're trying to figure out what purpose do you have in life. You're trying to figure out what is your purpose, what is your plan, what is the reason why you were brought to this earth, what is the reason why you have spawned into this place. You know what I'm saying? So it's always going to be like a question of why. You know, people say you never want to question God, you never want to, but why not? Why can you not ask God, why am I here? Why am I here? Like, what purpose am I here to serve? What is my mission? What am I here to do? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with asking that? You know, there's nothing wrong with asking, there's nothing wrong with asking, is it me? And y'all probably like, what do you mean when you say, is it me? When I say, is it me? I'm saying, like, is it me that I have to go through this? Is it me that I have to, you know, is it me that has to keep going through these type of things? Because a lot of times we go through so much shit in life, we feel like, God, I'm just not meant to be fucking successful. God, I'm not meant to be happy. God, I'm not meant to be this. I'm not meant to be that. But in reality, you are. You are 100% meant to be happy. You're 100% meant to be here. You're 100% meant to be loved. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we have to unfold the trauma in our life, as far as even as young as childhood, to unpack all the shit that we've kept in our brains, kept in that, some shit we don't even remember, y'all. It's a lot of times that you be in so much trauma and you go through so much shit as a young child, or as you grow up, that we have suppressed certain memories. It's certain things that we don't even remember. When some people be telling us some shit, you know, I remember, I'll never forget, I always would tell, you know, I'll tell somebody something all the time, and, the first thing that he'll say is like, damn, I don't remember that, and it's because it's because the trauma that they've endured in their life, the trauma that they have suppressed, they don't remember it. They don't remember the certain situation. They don't remember what happened. They don't remember how it got there. They don't remember nothing because they've suppressed that part of their memory. When you have so much trauma in your brain, a lot of times you suppress a whole lot of shit, and the other side of your brain is literally meant to be in survival. Like, when you suppress so much trauma, you end up becoming in this survival mode state, this survival just energy. You just feel like you have to survive, and you should not want to live to feel like you're in survival mode. You should want to live to be happy and be free and be feeling like that you're loved and that you're safe and that you're abundant. The sad part about a lot of us in life is that in a way we can be spoiled. Like, in a way we can have some shit go on, and in a way we can have some shit that happened to us, and next all things go wrong. All hope is lost when that shit happens. When the shit hits the fan, all hope is lost, and now we feel like we don't have no reason to live and all that shit. I wouldn't even say that's spoiled. I would just say, I didn't mean to say that's spoiled. I'll take that back. I wouldn't say that's being spoiled. I would just say you can't handle life's pressure. And I'm speaking to myself when I say that, which is why I changed the narrative from saying it's spoiled, because it's not spoiled. It's just we can't handle life sometimes. Sometimes life can be a lot. Like, sometimes life can really be a lot, y'all. And it's up to you. It is up to you to make it as less hard, as less painful as possible. Meaning, when we came down here, when we got birthed into this world, when we spawned into this world, the first thing we see is light. And the first thing the babies do when they're born, what do? They cry. They make them cry sometimes if you're not crying. They make them cry. So the first thing in our mind, I believe in when we are first born. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why this thing is doing this. But when we are first born, y'all, I'm gonna go right here. Can y'all hold on? Let's see. See if y'all can see me right now. Hold on. And by the way, I don't remember what I was just saying. I'm just telling you that right now. That's that trauma. That's that trauma I got going on in my life, y'all. But for real though, on a real serious note, you gotta wanna live, bro. You gotta wanna get out that funk. A lot of times we go through some shit and we feel like depression is one of the most, toxic things that is hard for us to get over, but it's not. Depression is very heavily energetic. I will say that. Depression is very heavily energetic, and it has a very heavy energy when you come in contact with depression. But I want to put it for you in this perspective. I want you to treat depression like you would treat a long lost. I want you to treat depression how you would treat a friend that you're no longer friends with. Like, I want you to do it like that. And let me put it in a more like detailed version of that. When we fall out with somebody, right? When we fall out with them, and when they try to rekindle the relationship or friendship, it's very fucking awkward, right? Sometimes people do, end up making the shit work. Sometimes people don't. That's just how depression is. Sometimes it can stick to you, and sometimes it won't. It's literally up to you on how you handle it. Because if you linger in that emotion for too long, then you came back friends with depression. If you linger for it, if you stay in it too long, if you allow it to consume you, then you became back friends with depression. And what are you doing now? The same old routines. Sometimes people don't have routines; they just be existing. If you don't decide to deal with it, if you decide to change your energy, if you decide to change your habits, change your routine, then at that point you are no longer friends with depression. You have decided to end all ties. You have decided to cut all ties. And you have officially told yourself that I'm no longer going to allow this shit to consume me. I'm no longer going to allow this shit to run my life. I'm taking back my power. I'm taking back control of my life. You have officially cut ties from depression. And I want to leave y'all with this, bro. When you get done, whenever you get done thinking about all the things that you want, whenever you get done thinking about all the things that you want in life and all the things that you haven't had a chance to accomplish and all the things that you feel like could change your whole entire need right now, whenever you get done thinking about the things you want in life, I want you to think about the things that you already have in life. Think about the things you already have. Think about the things that you've earned by doing things yourself. Think about be grateful for the things that you have. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful for the things that you've accomplished in life. You know, a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit. We don't give ourselves credit for the things that we do. Sometimes we literally will just like downplay what we do. And in reality, it's hard being a fucking human. It really is. And in reality, it is just hard because we go through so many things. And a lot of times I be thinking to myself, like, damn, is this really reality? Like, is this really reality? But then, you know, I think about how it could be worse. You know, I could be somebody that's, you know, that don't have no legs. I could be somebody that, you know, I could be in any position that was worse than the position I'm in right now. So I always look at it like, you know, life is most definitely meant to challenge you. And it's meant to make you stronger. It's meant to make you a better person. It's meant to make you a stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You know, it's meant for you to find back your roots. It's meant for you to go back to your roots and find out who you are. So I want you to take from this video, if you didn't take nothing out of anything that I said, I want you to take this from this video. Never feel bad about asking why you are here. Figure out why you're here. Figure it out. Figure out why you're here. What purpose in life am I supposed to serve? What is my purpose in life? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be? Figure it out. Figure it out. And once you figure it out, figure out how to achieve that goal. Once you figure out how to achieve that purpose, how to get started with moving towards that purpose. It's never going to be easy with anything that we do. So I want you to understand that when you're going towards your purpose, it's going to be even harder for you to accomplish it, because at that point you figured it out, what it is that you are trying to do, what it is that you are trying to be, what it is that you are here for. So when you figure it out, just know it's going to be a little challenging, but I want you to figure it out. I want you to seriously sit and figure it out. Why are you here? And what's your purpose? And, you know, this is just day one of the lock-in. You know, day one of the lock-in is to figure out, you know, if we can finish this whole week, the whole 7 days worth of the lock-in. You know, if I can go 7 days strong, I can go 14 days strong. If I go 14 days strong, I go 28 more days. You know what I'm saying? So just never give up on yourself, bro. That's all I can say. Just all I can really preach. Just all I can really, you know, keep repetitively saying is never give up on yourself. Always figure out why you're here. And once you figure out your purpose, drive to complete that purpose. I love y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. And if you like this video, make sure you leave me a like. Make sure you leave me a comment. Leave me a little subscribe. We family, you know what I'm saying? And if you're new to this channel, thank you for joining this channel. My name is Nisha. I go by Big Niche. I'm gonna drop my social medias in the comments, in the links or whatever. But stay focused, y'all. You have a goal to complete. And I will see y'all tomorrow on day 2. Big Niche is out.